Hi, so Bad Penny in his videos here. I'm in the van. The kit is in the van at last after being played with in the workshop. So quite a narrow focus for this video. It's showing the installation for my van, which is a Renault Master. And there's a few quirks with a Renault Master because it's a Renault. So if you're looking at this from the Chinese heater Facebook forum, yeah, quite a narrow focus. It may not be of interest to you, but there may be some stuff that is of interest. If you're looking at this from the Renault camper van forum, then yeah, this one's for you. But what I would say is get yourself over to the Chinese heater forum as well and sign up there, because it's a great forum. There's plenty of knowledge there, people with heaters for a long time. Anything you need to know will be on there. Look at the file section. There's a load of resource there. I got so much from that forum. Fully recommend you go across there. Okay, so, oh, by the way, in the file section you'll see one of mine. It's a document that says what to expect the first time you press the go button, and there's links to videos there for the rotary controller and the LCD controller. So, in my van, Renault Master, show you what the quirks are. Okay, so there's the kit on the floor where the swivel seat for the passenger side goes. So, let's have a look. Let me deal with first why I've got its own dedicated battery, because there's a battery there, there's a heater. This wooden bulkhead here has got the pump and filter screwed on the other side. I might be able to have a look later on. Why have I got a spare battery? So I built every inch of this van, so I changed it from this to this, and I happen to know it will be a really difficult run to get the cables from the leisure battery, which is in the bedding box underneath the switch box there, round to the heater. Bearing in mind it's a long run, you've got sort of 10 ampish draw to start with. That's pretty heavy cables to get right the way through, so I don't get a voltage drop. And I just knew it would be hard. So that's the first reason. The other reason is you've of course got to make a hole in the floor to get the exhaust out and the burn air in, the cold burn air in. And bloody Renaults, there's a substructure under here, we'll look at that later, which means you cannot get that heater in the middle of the space underneath the captain seat. It's got to be pushed to one side. And so in doing that, it created the space for the battery. I thought, well, why not? Particularly as Renault Masters owners will know, your drive battery is not in the bonnet, it's there under the floor. So very easy to get a charge link put through. And I've got a manual split charge system in there. I'll show you that later, not a VSR split charge. So at the end of the day, in for a penny, in for a pound, dedicated supply for the heater.
So I put the base back on, looking down onto it, battery at the top there, and below that you can see where the heater was. I've actually screwed in a steel shelf. I'll come on to that in a minute. And you can just about see a switch there. Let me zoom in on that. And that's just a selector switch, a 25 amp selector switch. So the heater battery is either going to be looking at the heater, or I switch it to the other way and it'll be looking at the drive battery. In other words, to get charged, or in the center position is off, everything's isolated. So a little bit of a crude split charging system I put in there. I might put a proper VSR type split charging system in there later on, sort of thing you use on your leisure batteries, but actually it's fine at the moment. What it does mean, of course, is I can't use the heater with it connected to the drive battery, so I can't flatten my drive battery by using the heater. And that's why I wanted the steel shelf in there. At this stage I don't want to cut back on that wiring loom. Now that doesn't sit healthily with me. I used to install EM machines and you'd always cut back on your surplus wires. You'd never have that sort of nonsense, but I just don't want to do that yet until I'm confident in the machine. So I've just loosely caught up there, and actually I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. The ridge stuff is silicone blanket. Just want to protect the wire and the battery from the heat, although surprisingly there's not much heat build up in there. I dropped a remote thermocouple down in the gap between the heater and the battery, and kept it on when I was running, and actually the heat build up in there is less than under the bonnet, but you know, that stuff is available, it's cheap, and why not put it in there. So we're under the van now, lying on the ground looking up, and you can see the structure of the frame that's dictated where that heater could be positioned. You could not drill through and make your exit holes for your pipes if you put the heater in the middle of the area occupied by the swivel seat. So the blue stuff there is exhaust wrap, manifold wrap, and just above that you can see more of that silicone blanket. And if I zoom in, you can hopefully see why. So the hot exhaust pipe exits quite close to the side of the structure, and of course the Renault Master is or the whole of the underside of the Renault Master is covered in that sort of like rubbery sort of thing that sticks to the frame and the chassis. That's why they don't rust. But I was a little bit nervous about it degrading with the heat of the exhaust, so I put that on. Actually, I think it would have been fine. It was a big heat sink in any case, but I always tend to go over the top on that. And looking up, it's a little bit out of focus, but you can see the white base plate of the heater itself. And around the edge, you can see where I cut the hole, black gunk coming out. That is heat resistant flue grade silicon sealant, just to bed that base plate in and make sure no nasty gases go back up into the cab. And there's the little exhaust muffler just hanging out under the side there. So for my use case, I don't need that big tank that comes with a kit. I've just put a little 2.5 litre in there, which gives me just over 12 hours of burn time. And I've got a spare one that sits in the boot as well, so that's fine. I just put it in position when I need it, secure it down with a bit of Velcro, some inline fuel connectors, and so I only actually have the tank in position when I want to use the heater. So that's it then, and there's the passenger seat, swivel seat. The control I put on the bulkhead next door to the overcab aircraft locker, and the heat outlet vent is coming of course out of the base of the swivel seat, keeping that van nice and toasty. So yeah, the quirks of the Renault, that substructure is a nuisance, but I hope this video has been a help if you're having to go. Good luck.